I think what's interesting is we talk about these big tech. I love that Scott has previously talked about breaking up big tech, and I think there's potential for that in the next 4 years. All of these guys, like Trump and JD Vance, and all of them have locked horns with big tech, and they've come. This is their chance to get revenge on big tech in the next 4 years. They could do a little. You might see Google have to spin off YouTube, or you might see AWS have to come away from Amazon or something like that. Who knows? But it's interesting that a lot of these big tech guys, they're probably cozying up to Trump, because that could be on the cards as well.
There's been a lot of Trump butt kissing over the last couple of weeks. I think Trump's almost bragged about the fact that everybody's flown down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss his butt and to cozy up with him. And there's now headlines saying that there's this tech oligarchy forming in the United States where Bezos and Elon and Zuck are all now friends, and they're stood behind Trump as this unifying force. Just to touch on a few points of that, but also on Konstantin's message that Elon is doing this for the betterment of humanity, to further humanity, his involvement with the UK, but his broader involvement in politics now. Scott, does that square with how you think about Elon? And I am quite curious to ask you why you made the decision to leave X and to go to Blue Sky and Threads and things like that.
Yeah, I can't speculate on what motivates Elon Musk. I quite frankly just don't get the guy, and I don't have the domain expertise to comment on the rape gangs. It's such a serious, upsetting issue. I don't know it well enough to speak intelligently to it. The topic of censorship, though, as it relates to Meta, a hallmark of a free society and a democracy is that pretty much anyone can say pretty much anything about pretty much anybody. I believe that. The question is, do machines and bots have free speech rights? Because if I say something, I believe, and I may be paranoid, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong. I believe VCs whose portfolio companies I've said have overvalued have enlisted thousands of bots to basically just shitpost me over and over on X to diminish my credibility. I think because I've been critical of Putin, that the GRU has hired troll farms to create lists of thousands of people to weaponize bots to say disparaging things about them. Do those bots have free speech rights? In addition, when Fox News distributes information to its anchors saying Dominion voting machines were weaponized by Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, despite the fact they knew that was not true, but they tell their broadcasters to do it anyways. And then Dominion says, this hurt our business, and you knew it was false, and you decided to communicate it anyways. Their courts find them liable, and they have to pay $750 million. What happened at Fox News was a dumpster fire compared to the nuclear mushroom cloud on Meta. So a lot of what we're talking about here, if you want to say that mRNA vaccines alter your DNA, I think you should have the right to say that. The dissenter's voice is important because occasionally the conspiracy theorist ends up being correct. The question is, when you have a business model that elevates the most incendiary, ugly content beyond its organic reach, should you then be exonerated from all liability and slander that traditional media companies